Welcome to Lucy T WW. I'm Lucy T, and today we are talking about this week's Raw and SmackDown Live, August 7th and 8th from Toronto. And there is only one more week before SummerSlam, and things are heating up. Let's start with Raw's beastly opening. See what I did there? Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman interrupt Miz TV, and just as Miz is throwing his tantrum, he does an under-the-radar Dr. Evil voice when he says, Mr. Advocate. Come back to that later. Put a pin in that. And this I thought was awesome to watch as a fan when Brock destroys Miz and the Miztourage, sans Maurice, of course, as they represent Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns with F5s and suplexes. But for once in my life, I actually do agree with Corey Graves that it's apples and over-hormone massive cantaloupes. Brock's three opponents 1 week from Sunday are not going to be as easy to put away as the Miztourage. They're, let's face it, half their size. So jumping right into my new favorite storyline with a match against Sheamus and Seth Rollins. Sheamus wins, but Dean doesn't come out. Where is that Dean? He's obviously still way hurt by his brother's betrayal all those years ago, and I can't say that I blame him because being backstabbed or backchaired in his case by someone with greasy curls is really hard to get over. Definitely think Seth and Dean will have the opportunity to win the tag titles at SummerSlam, though. I don't know, let me know what you guys think, but it's a very similar setup to the, best out of 7 series matches that Cesaro had before they became a tag team, and lots of parallels. How they hated each other at first, and being part of a tag team definitely would not be foreign to either Dean or Seth. And Bayley will not be wrestling at SummerSlam due to her shoulder, but don't worry, Bayley. Don't worry, Bayley. Don't worry, Bayley. Everything will do. I don't know the words. But I'm pretty sure that the boos were on your behalf, not at your expense. This, I am giving a new weekly award, Botch of the Week. And I'm going to apply it to this misunderstanding between the crowd and the hugger. Okay, Enzo and Big Show. Is Enzo not sick of just being paired with giants? I mean, we all love to see someone as large and old as the Big Show try to do the little Enzo Amore shuffle and shout, how you doing? How you doing? But how long is that going to last? I mean, the novelty's kind of almost expired there. Also, the Miz's Dr. Evil enunciation definitely was not just in my imagination because Enzo flat out calls Gallows and Anderson Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. I don't know, this whole situation isn't really tickling me, and I don't really care for it. I just wish Enzo would do something a bit different. I love him. I don't know. What do you guys think? And back to Dean and Seth. I have to say, I think Dean and Cesaro take yoga class together. Can I go? I got yoga pants. This was a really fun match to watch Dean win and a turning point in the story. If you remember last week when Dean saved Seth's butt, Dean denied Seth the shield bump. Drama. So this week, Seth was the one to deny Dean, and I swear, I thought Dean was going to cry. I felt so bad. So I think next week something big is going to happen, and we'll all come to a great, big, pimply whitehead to pop at SummerSlam. Speaking of skincare, God, I am just so good with the transitions today. There is a new stipulation for the Raw Women's title shot at SummerSlam. So even though Bayley elected Sasha as her proxy, next week we'll determine the number 1 contender as the Boss goes toe-to-toe with Nia Jax, who won the triple threat 2 nights ago this week against Dana Brooke and Mickie James. Shocker. Not so sure, though, if Sasha can beat Nia Jax in, a standard match. I don't think it's, no DQ or anything. So, I don't know. She's just pure strength and power and literally double Sasha's size. So, But speaking of like really big people, the Braun and Roman saga continues in Raw's main event this week as they destroyed each other in a last man standing match. Do you think Roman gets paid a shit ton? Like, I just imagine that the WWE brings him in like every Friday afternoon just as he's getting his paycheck and ready to clock out and drive home. And they're like, hey, Roman, you got a minute? Do you mind if we break all your bones in your body again on Monday? And he rolls his eyes and it's very sitcom-y. And he's like, not again. No, but it is very fun to watch, regardless of who you get behind. Braun. Is it obvious? Clearly, the highlight was when Roman is charging at Braun for a spear and instead gets a desk chair thrown at him and he goes back a few feet. That was gold. I will be making memes of that for days. And the big upset of the match, though, is the call. So it was a last man standing match, and Strowman is down, and Roman is up by the count of 7 or 8. And then Samoa Joe catches a hold of Roman in the Kina clutch. But Braun is still down, so why did they stop counting? I don't know. So yes, it was a no DQ match, but it is also a last man standing match. So even though Joe interfered, technically Roman was standing up. So Braun ends up winning the next count, but only with the help of Samoa Joe. So I don't know. Obviously there is Samoan family rivalry there, I guess. But let's switch gears to SmackDown. That is Raw done. Apparently Baron Corbin spazzed out after Nakamura defeated John Cena last week and attacked Nakamura, and then John Cena came to his rescue. What the fuck? I'm sad I missed that. Why wasn't that included on the show? But hey, I guess the WWE really wants more people on Cena's side. But when he opens up this week's SmackDown, he shows us all that apparently he shakes his hand with his fingers spread apart. Did you see that? He was like, and I shook his hand. And I was like, womp womp. Baron Corbin interrupts. John Cena calls him skinny fat, like douches do on Tinder, which I thought was hilarious. And the crowd chants dumpster fire at Baron Corbin, which couldn't be closer to the truth. Maybe Baron will cash in next week so that he can then face Shinsuke at SummerSlam? I don't know. Something's definitely a brewing. Let me know what you think. But God, John Cena is so white. You know who's not that white? The Usos. So they face Ty Dillinger and Sami Zayn and win, obviously. But then something curious happens. You know who comes out in red velour jumpsuits? Who? The New Day. Is it okay? So, payback for after they got jumped last week, but I just want to know what was up with those outfits. Very 2006 Paris Hilton, and I think that the cameraman might have missed something. If you have seen any of my videos this far, then you know that the Fashion Police have become one of my favorite segments of all time, thanks to Grandma at the pay-per-view a few months back, and Broom, Mop, Grandma, Mop, Broom, Janitor. It was amazing. So when Fandango comes back, he explains to Tyler Breeze that he could have come back anytime he wanted from the aliens, but didn't want to because of the alien probes. No, he means wardrobes. And then we learn that Arn Henderson, who comes out of nowhere, who was just looking for catering, destroyed Fandango's horse. Take some donuts on his way out. Have some donuts. So I was overjoyed to see that the Fashion Police will be staying together. Thank you. Say what you will about Lana, but damn, she's getting her TV time. Go girl. She lost to Charlotte last night, which isn't really a surprise. I mean, it's Charlotte Flair. Don't go too hard on yourself, Lana. But apparently last week on WWE.com, nice plug, by the way, she was telling Tamina about how she wants to wrestle like her, and Obvi, Tamina was like, okay, well, I'm massive and you're not, so... but hey, can you teach me how to be ambitious like you? So that was this week. I was a big fan of those Teach Me This, I'll Teach You That high school rom-coms from the 90s. I am loving this situation. Was also taken down memory lane when AJ Styles and KO rehashed Shane McMahon screwing over Stone Cold in the 1998 Survivor Series match against Mankind as a shitty ref, to say the least. 1, 2, and then he just walked away. So they're a bit nervous about their U.S. title rematch at SummerSlam because Shane McMahon will be refereeing that. And as KO points out, it's not the first time McMahon has screwed over a Canadian. And AJ and him have some history. And AJ accidentally kicked him last night. Ellsworth is back and pins and helps Carmella distract Naomi and pins her in a funsy match. That's what I call a match. It's not a title match. But Ellsworth is like the Chris Christie of wrestling. He's got a difficulty with the number of chins he has and wants to really be liked. But everyone's just laughing at him, not with him. Get it? Ellsworth doesn't have any chins. Chris Christie has too many chins. Okay. Jinder and Randy, I'm sorry, but I'm really getting kind of sick of this feud. And Jinder Mahal's neck muscles, they're like... I'm also starting to think that Randy's fake out is intentional because he only ever successfully RKOs when it truly is out of nowhere. Sign of the week goes to What Happened on SmackDown Live, which is exactly how I felt when Rusev came and kicked Randy after his win. So I guess they needed to create some actual bad blood for SummerSlam because there was no real feud between Randy and Rusev. It was just them both being left out and needing to partner up. Well, thanks guys so much for watching. Please leave your comments and predictions below. I'm so excited for SummerSlam. And have a nice day.